children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Final Guys. Tim Meyer here, joined as always by Sexual Chocolate, Jason Brandt.
Yep.
Manwich, Jack Campese. And Bo Weevil.
By the way, Sexual Chocolate and Manwich both melt in my mouth.
Delicious. You guys are all delicious.
Like a bow weevil? I don't know. It's there.
Okay.
Ridiculous as always. You guys are freaks. You know what else is freaky? The movie that we all watched this week for tonight's episode. Did you like that segue?
It was very good.
We watched Castle Freak last week. We're gonna talk about it. I'm sure we all have very strong opinions about it one way or the other. I'm probably going to predict what each of you think before you guys give your opinions, just to see if I'm correct.
That'd be fun.
Because I think I know you guys pretty well by now. I've been doing this for a few months, and I wanted to just test my knowledge of your tastes.
All right, Miss Cleo.
Now.
So we'll do that later. First, does anybody have any news, anything personal they want to discuss to the public?
I want to show you guys something that came in the mail. I don't know if you remember a couple months ago now. It's been a while. Somebody sent us a digital copy of a comic book they were working on that was in, I think it was Kickstarter, called Reanimator Incorporated. Well, they sent me the hardcover for talking about it on the show.
Whoa.
And it is freaking beautiful, by the way.
It looks
three more
nice.
issues in the box for the rest of us.
I said just send one. Nobody else cares. They all think so. I don't know how much you can see, but the artwork is super cool. And I don't know who printed this for them, but it is really high quality.
It looks professional.
On the back, I don't know if you can read that.
Ooh.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I have to buy it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know where this is available, if it was Kickstarter only, if they're selling it in stores now. I'll have to look that up and get back to everybody, but it is Reanimator Incorporated. So very cool. Lyndon White and Andy Perry. Appreciate the copy.
Amazon has everything, so you could probably get it there.
I'm trying right now because I want it. All right.
Anybody got anything else? Hunter, you got anything?
I'm pissed at all my cousins.
Oh,
I don't. I've got nothing. You said personal.
Yeah. I kind of want to hear the story now.
No, I actually.
You just made it up.
My cousins.
Oh,
they're all in the South. They're all rednecks.
I miss my cousins. It's been so long.
I got a quick thing. Tomorrow, Wormwood drops on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. So if you want to go check that out, that would be amazing.
I pre-ordered. Mm-hmm.
I just remembered something.
What?
For the first time, we have the drinking words we can say at the beginning of the show.
Sweet. Those are important. I mean, I was going to be drinking anyway, so
I'll read them.
Read them.
Ready? All right. Here are the words. When we say them out of our mouths or maybe butts, you drink or smoke or shoot up. I don't care. Jack, your words are original and credits. Mine are Barbara. Oh, this one's going to play big. Nudity. Jason's are remake Lovecraft. Tim. Wow, you're just Tim tonight. Nothing
I know.
special.
I'm a little sad about that.
Welcome to our world.
Is everything okay?
Yours are Freak and Kills.
He's finally over Tim.
You guys are broken up.
Sheridan thinking that Chad Lutsky is part of the show. So if Chad in the chat, if you say drug or Gordon, I guess we gotta flex it up on the
Something
screen.
tells me Chad Lusky says drug more than we may suspect.
And if any of us say Blind, Castle, or Crampton, this is gonna be interesting.
That's beautiful. I'm going to be drunk about 2 minutes into this thing. So,
Wow.
yeah, awesome.
Good for you.
I know, right? All right. So, Jack, what you got for us this week?
2 quick actual news items. I'm not going to waste our time with some filler. These are actual news items.
From the New York Post.
Yeah. Hunter Biden. HBO is developing a reboot of True Blood already.
Wait, wasn't that
Wow.
on HBO to begin with?
That was on HBO, so I guess they own the rights to it. And now and I mean, when the heck was
What did it end 10 years ago?
it ended
Not
in
even, right?
2014.
Yeah.
Oh,
6 years? What?
on the same network.
So
That's
it was 2008 to 2014, and they're already rebooting it.
So, is it like a actual reboot, or is it just something that exists in that world? Because I could see them doing something like in the same world, but like a legit reboot doesn't make any sense to me.
they're calling it a reboot.
You know,
That
HBO,
is-
there are 3 content creators on this show alone that you could have fucking maybe called for something new. I don't know, but whatever.
I would love HBO presents Swamp Monster Massacre. That would be
the
amazing.
10 episode series.
Limited series.
The Switch House.
Episode
Come on.
6.
I mean, Jesus, 6 years? That's all we get?
Yeah, that's crazy. I never saw an episode of the original.
I enjoyed the original. I kind of went in and out of it. The first few seasons, I was really glued to it. Then I kind of watched it, but not as religiously. But I enjoyed, for the most part. There's a lot of great people came out of that show.
I loved it.
I feel it's a little early for a reboot, but
I watched the first 2 seasons and I think I was caught up or something. I don't remember. I just faded away from it and never went back. And I was enjoying it, but I just
Yeah.
I never felt the compulsion to.
It gets worse every season, but
Yeah.
it's still enjoyable.
it was quite sexy too. Quite
The way
sexy.
that dude
Very
always said,
sexy.
Suki. It was like so strange.
Stephen Moyer, that guy's a great actor. I love him.
Suki.
Suki. We named my dog Suki.
Did you?
You guys were
Yeah.
hardcore.
Sam Merlot. All right. The other piece of news is along the same lines of Hollywood running out of ideas. Noah Hawley is teaming with Ridley Scott for an Alien series on FX, which is now owned by Disney, but I think they're going to have like a separate thing that's like for more like R-rated kind of stuff and mature.
Right.
But anyway, FX networks. The Fargo and Legion creator team with the Academy Award winning Ridley Scott. It's supposed to take place in the not too distant future. It's the first alien story set on Earth, and by blending both timeless horror of the first Alien movie with the nonstop action of the second, it's going to be a scary thrill ride that'll blow people's back in their seats. Blah blah blah.
Well, if you go by the Alien timeline, it's not possible, but sure.
Retcon.
Timelines don't
Yeah.
mean anything.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Just retcon everything.
Watch Ridley Scott puts no aliens in it. You totally see him doing that.
Didn't AVP 2 take place on Earth?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
movie was. I actually watched it recently. That was worse than I remembered it being. Like,
There's a second
20
Alien
years
versus
ago.
Predator, so it's not just
Yeah.
one.
yeah, Requiem.
Oh, that's right.
It's not good.
Not good. I know, like, I wanted to love those movies so much.
Yeah, it's my whole childhood. Aliens and Predator.
Yeah, I used to
Would be
read
the greatest thing.
the books like that they made in the 90s. Like, you remember
Oh,
those
yeah.
Alien vs. Predator books? Oh man, those were great. There was a
Dark Horse
very
books?
successful video game too.
Mhm.
Just I don't know, man.
Just have them fight. What's all this story bullshit with like Aztec temples and stuff? Like, what are you doing?
Like, I don't
get
even
that.
mind that stuff. It was just it didn't make sense. It's just a mess.
It was terrible.
It's so bad.
Damn it. And I think Requiem, I haven't seen it since it came out, but wasn't it so dark you couldn't see like a goddamn thing that was going on?
Yeah, it was a very dark movie, and I just a mess, man. Just
They should just do one where there's no humans. None.
that would be cool too.
I just don't understand how you mess it up. The only way you mess it up is by putting too much goddamn story in it.
What was the Alien movie that Seth Rogen did the voice of?
Paul.
Paul. What if he had like Paul versus the aliens.
The
I'd be
Predator.
down with
Uncle
that.
Paul.
Paul and Alf versus the alien.
Mars Attacks versus Aliens versus Predators. I'd watch the shit out of that movie.
I actually am more optimistic about this because it's a TV show that maybe takes place in a different timeline, so you can trash a lot of the baggage and just say, okay, this one takes place after Aliens, and go with that. Fine, whatever. I'll wait for the trailer,
sure.
but
Who did you say was doing it? HBO?
no, FX is
FX.
doing it with
FX.
Ridley Scott's going to be involved with it.
FX could be all right.
Could be. It's possible.
And
I'm gonna watch it.
The guy who made Legion and Fargo is doing it. So,
Dude, Fargo is phenomenal. At least the first 2 seasons were. I haven't watched the third or the fourth, but
You haven't watched it.
good stuff. All right. Is that it?
that's
Yeah.
it. I don't want to
All
push
right.
it.
Yeah.
Push it.
But we do have, I'm sure, a lot of great stuff that we watched this week that we are all very anxious to talk about.
I have news. Jesus. We have
What?
new t-shirts. I totally forgot.
Why don't you tell us?
Jesus Christ.
Go to finalguys.com. The links are right there. They're Stranger Things inspired t-shirts. They actually look pretty cool.
Beauty.
So check them out. Just go to finalguys.com. They're right there, baby.
I'll finally be proud to wear our shit. Nice.
All right. What do you guys say we talk about some stuff that we watched?
It.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. Who wants to start us off? Jack, I think you watched some good stuff this week. You have that look about you.
I watched some really good stuff, actually.
Tell us about it.
Excited.
So I watched a Shudder original exclusive, what do you call it, that we probably should have watched over Castle Freak. That is not a commentary on what I think about Castle Freak,
Hindsight.
and more a commentary on what I thought of Anything for Jackson.
Oh, so many people told me to watch that.
I watched
it too. I'll talk about it tonight.
Okay, well, if you guys want to chime in here, so I'll go first though. I really was. A friend of mine had recommended it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'd seen the trailer for this a long time ago." I really like this movie a lot. I was pleasantly surprised by it, and it had it's like about like a reverse exorcism. This elderly couple is trying to bring back the spirit of their son, so they kidnap a pregnant woman, and they're going to do a reverse exorcism to try and put him in. And so they're kind of like they're not like evil people, but they're doing dreadful things in the name of love. And there's sort of a Fargo feel to it, and the difficulty they have in everything that goes into the ritual and the kidnapping and all this other stuff. So I went in with like okay, Shudder exclusive, gonna be hit or miss, whatever. And I walked out going, wow, this is a really good movie. I really enjoyed it a lot. So I would say next movie you watch should be this one on Shudder.
Oh, nice. Now, Jack, do you think it would make my list? I need to put some. My list is terrible.
It's going to be on my list most likely.
It's going to be top 5 in my list. Like no shit.
It was pretty. It was really good. Surprisingly good.
I watched this last night and I was freaking blown away. And I was thinking, why the hell didn't we do this movie? Like, holy crap! So I think we should do a main feature on it at some point after the holidays, maybe, because it reminded me a lot of a Dark Song.
Yeah.
Same kind of themes going on.
Fargo and the Dark Song.
Yeah, it was so good. It was the filmmaking is very simple. Almost everything's practical in it, which just I don't know. It just felt like unique. It's not unique filmmaking, but everything is so I don't know. It's so much CG and stuff anymore.
Yeah,
and it just felt like such a nice. Felt like a nice film to watch. I don't even know how to describe it. I was so happy.
The haunting element of this movie is genuinely scary.
Yeah, it's so good.
So we can we finish early so I can watch it tonight?
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up. Go watch that on Shudder. Some people on Twitter and some people in the chat have been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks to watch this. And I'm not gonna lie, I saw Reverse Exorcism in the description. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, another exorcism movie. I can't wait.
Mhm.
Thank God you guys pushed for us to watch this because I probably would have given it a pass. And it, like I said, it's gonna be my top 5.
Do you think if they reverse all the tired tropes, we might like them more in reverse?
A reverse human centipede.
Reverse zombie.
Reverse human centipede. What would
Don't
that
feed
look like?
her.
The donut waitress from Umbrella Academy is in anything for Jackson.
Also, she was in Die Hard 2.
Yes, she was the reporter.
She was a reporter, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next year you can get her autograph for $85 a check.
And Tim, you watched it too?
Yeah, I did. I did enjoy it. I watched it while I was at work, so I was kind of like half paying attention to it while I was watching it, and I definitely need to go back and give it like my full attention. But yeah, it was, from what I saw, it was good. It's a good winter movie too, because it takes place in like a snowy environment, and there's a great wood chipper scene. So
That there is.
fantastic wood chipper scene. But yeah, it was really good. Totally worth a watch. Absolutely. So sexual chocolate, you want to talk about some stuff?
Well, it kind of took the wind out of my sails with that one, so I was going to talk about that. But dude, I'm so glad you watched it. I was like, I cannot wait to talk to the guys about this movie. Holy shit! So I watched Hellraiser. I'm not going to talk about it much because we have a whole episode about it. I think this is one of the classic 80s horror movies. It has some problems. It has some weird shit, particularly in the end. But of all the long-running series, this to me feels like it has the best premise. Not the best execution necessarily, maybe the worst series, but the sex demons from hell coming out of a puzzle box, and I love it. It just totally works for me. The effects are 50% great, 50% really dated.
Yeah.
You know how this movie goes. But I decided to obviously watch Hellraiser 2. I have not seen this movie in a very long time. I remember liking it a lot. I remember it being gory as hell. All of that still applies. I forgot this movie is pretty stupid. Like, the story is pretty stupid.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch though.
It kind
You're
of
talking about Hellraiser 2 now?
Yeah, Hellraiser
Yeah.
2. Yeah, because Hellraiser. So it kind of breaks a lot of the rules set up in the first one. So when Uncle Frank comes back in the first one, he has to kill people to like get his body to build back up so he can just walk around and stuff.
Right.
In this one, she comes out whole hog, ready to go. She just doesn't have skin.
Yeah. And by the way, she's quite the sex pot in this one.
It is definitely not the same actress in the amazing skin suit as portrays her.
No.
It's
But even when she
definitely,
gets her skin, she looks kind of
she looks better than the first one.
Yeah.
For sure. She had like that weird haircut.
We all did then.
So they break like weird rules like that. I'm like, did you watch the first movie the whole way through? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. This movie's old, so I'm going to spoil a lot of it, people. If you haven't heard it, skip 2 minutes ahead. They kill Pinhead, who basically does nothing in this movie. He just barters with people the entire time. And then the doctor guy becomes the Cenobite and kills people. But then Julia says that Leviathan, the giant diamond thing in the sky, sent her back to get more souls. I'm like, but no, the doctor put the crazy man on the mattress to cut himself up and brought you back. This wasn't some grand scheme that you escaped hell. Like, just the story makes no freaking sense.
No.
But goddamn, there's cool stuff in this, and I like that they swung for a home run. They maybe hit like a double.
Well, they ran out of money too, so that was an issue.
Some of the effects aren't great. But it's a fun movie. You have to turn your brain off, particularly if you want to compare it to the first movie with story stuff, because it's not really gonna.
I think
to
the
hold
first
water.
half of Hellraiser 2 is like really good.
Yes. Once they go to hell, the wheels kind of come off.
It gets
It's like
weird.
a tale of two movies. It's like the first half of the movie and the second half of the movie don't like add
No.
up.
Yeah.
When he puts the guy on the mattress and he's just cutting himself up, I'm like, oh my God, this is so brutal. And it looks just great. And then the last half, there's like shit flying through the air.
Yeah.
There's like a light show from Poltergeist. I'm like,
The tunnel.
My favorite thing in that whole movie has always been when the doctor becomes a Cenobite and they put the thing in his head. That sound like
Yeah,
that
he's like
noise he
doing like an
makes.
arm dance.
I love that sound. Like every time I watch that movie, that goes in a loop in my head for like weeks.
It's
bizarre.
so strange. It's so strange, but very enjoyable Hellraiser movie. Stupid, some weird shit in it, but it's fun. It's a fun movie to watch.
Looking forward to your assessment of Hell on Earth. Can't wait.
Yeah,
I've only seen it once, and I do not remember liking it at all.
Yeah,
poor man.
You're gonna hate it even more the second time around. I guarantee
Great.
it. Hunter Shea, what do you got for us?
Well, Jason, by the way, I see that you torture yourself with this crap that you do. And I decided because life is too short. I don't want to do this to myself. So this isn't a show thing, but I'm going to watch the X-Files from beginning to end.
Oh, I was thinking about doing that too.
Because it's on Hulu now. And
yeah.
I almost didn't come up here before because I was watching episode 3, Tombs, that guy who stretches through everything. Love that episode. So anyway, I'm enjoying that. Opposite of that is a series that I've watched the second season of. Hell yeah. Did you guys watch the first season?
No.
Negative.
So this is these are a ghost hunting group of guys and girl who get hooked on to searching for goblins in the mountains of Kentucky, which I figure for Jason is called Wednesday night when he was growing up.
Yeah, we go out with the spotlight and try and see him in the field.
Ryan, you find a goblin yet?
I'm going goblin tonight.
There's so many goblins down in this holler. So
Down in a holler.
Down in a holler. This the first season there, it's really more about Hellier, Kentucky, and trying to find out, is there a goblin there, and interviewing all these people. The second season is almost double the number of episodes, which took away half my pleasure. And when I at first tweeted out that I was watching this, everybody was like, "Oh, dude, that's great. If you can't sleep, perfect show to watch." I was like, because it's kind of low and slow. It's like good barbecue, I guess. You cook it low and slow. But
is this like a reality series or
it's a reality series? No, it's not dramatic. So it's these people. First of all, if you want to watch a group of people say the word synchronicity enough times where if it's a drinking game, you're dead.
And they look for goblins every week.
Well, it's a particular goblin, which I would say this season is called Descent into Madness, because they bring in this mysterious benefactors who are feeding them information, and then it ties to Indrid Cold, who was part of the Mothman conspircy and is Indrid Cold.
Real. This is not a drama series.
This is really alive, and they do these weird experiments and stuff where they're trying to psychically talk to people through different. It's fucking crazy.
Sounds kind of awesome.
It's there's never a big moment. So if you're waiting 10 episodes for the holy crap, it never comes. And to that point, I applaud them, because where Ghost Adventures would make every episode a big to-do, this is watching people get sucked into either a real conspiracy or a conspiracy of their own mind that is literally driving them insane. And so it goes all over the place. So you're trying to find the central theme. And it's now they're in another town, and this town has a weird history, and now they're in a cave. It's now they're practicing magic in the woods. I'm like, there's really crazy shit out there.
They're practicing magic in the woods.
Is it like an actual reality show, or is it scripted?
No, it's not scripted. This is them really doing this.
It's like Finding Bigfoot kind of show.
Oh my god, I don't know if I'd like that.
Except finding a goblin, or it goes into possible extraterrestrials, or ultra terrestrials, and John Keel theories, and
what's a John Keel theory?
Well, John Keel's the reporter who did Mothman, and he had a lot of books out about ultra dimensions and stuff. But it was kind of cool because I'm watching. I'm going, these people, their minds are getting fucked, and it's really
yours is watching this.
You do feel insane after a while. You feel
I feel insane listening to you talk about it,
dude. I can't describe this really. Look, if you got time to watch 10 episodes, go for it, man. If you're into just watching conspiracy theories and just every paranormal thing thrown into one, check it out. It's to me, what fascinated me was the effect it has, this kind of thinking, the effect it has on the people who follow all these lines of thought. Because they're not the same people they were from the first season. It's just
It feels like you need to get somebody from that show on Monster Men and just pick their brain.
Yeah.
there is an author that they talked to who had created this code, this kind of like divination code of you take numbers and they turn into letters or vice versa, whatever.
You put
And
the
I
left
watched this
foot in,
guy.
you take the left foot out.
So you just watch this guy talking, you go, all of these people will be this guy in another 20 years if they don't hop off this train. And even if they're absolutely right and onto it, it doesn't matter because you're going to sound crazy. And you may be crazy. So
Wow.
it's fascinating.
You had me at goblins. You lost me at reality television.
Why, you want your goblins fake?
Yeah. I want a real goblins. That sounds terrifying.
Is there like a preferred like bait for goblins? Like, do they like candy corn or something like that?
Dude, they did a thing. They got away from goblins, but I think goblins were kind of associated when they were trying to call on the great god Pan. And there was a lot of ritual that went on in a cave for this with, drinking wine and baked breads.
Did
And
they use the
sweets.
pan flute?
They should have gotten Zamfir. If Zamfir was in there. Oh, you bring that up. It's funny because when they did some cave thing, they're hearing one of them who's tied into some Gansfield experiment or something is hearing, he goes, I hear a tune, bing, bing, bing. So this becomes the summoning sound. Bing, bing, bing. And they're trying to find the right keys. And then they're in this cave playing it over and over again. I'm going, it's fucking Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, or Masters of the Universe.
So I couldn't stop watching it. A couple of times I dozed off in the middle because you're like, oh,
It sounds really bad.
Yeah.
I'll be there for the third season.
I don't think there's enough
in.
drugs in New Jersey for me to get on board with that.
Look, if you're going to watch it for the paranormal, I think you're going to be disappointed. If you're going to watch it as an anthropologist, like an armchair anthropologist, I think it's fascinating as hell. That's the way I look at it.
Sounds great. All right. I guess it's me. So I watched a Christmas horror movie this week just to counteract all of the Hallmark and Lifetime movies my wife is making me watch this holiday season.
Oh,
Divorce.
So they're good movies to fall asleep to. So I went on Shudder and they have like a holiday section, and I chose All the Creatures Were Stirring.
Oh, is that
Rebecca McKendry.
Yeah, Rebecca McKendry, who I like. I really enjoy her. Well, they don't have it anymore, but the Shockwaves podcast, I really enjoyed listening to her on that, and I think she's a talented filmmaker. So I don't think I've ever seen anything that she's actually done, but like her film theory and just the way she talks about film, like you can definitely tell like she knows her shit. So
did you know she has a PhD?
I did know that.
Just to call her doctor.
Doctor.
And she can make movies. I mean, that's what she does for a living.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to check this out. It's a anthology film, so you know how I love my anthologies.
We did a whole show on this.
We
Did you?
I hope she never sees it.
Oh wow! So I'm guessing you guys hated it.
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
so,
anthologies.
It's basically about a couple. They have like, I guess, this weird, awkward first date, and they go to like this small theater in town, and that's kind of like the wraparound story. So they're watching the plays of these stories, and they're like acting out what we actually see on film. Like each short film is like these actors acting it out, but we actually get to see like a filmed version of it. And some of them didn't quite hit. Some of them I really enjoyed. There's one where that takes place in a parking lot.
Yeah, that's my favorite, I think.
That was so good. Yeah, there's a screenshot from it. That one was really good. There's a weird alien one at the end that I kind of liked. It was a little quirky. but like each, like, I don't know, I love anthologies because good ones have different like tones. Like each story, you could tell it all kind of like fits the same movie, but the tones are different, and that's what I kind of liked about this one. Like you got a little bit of everything. You got like a scary one, you got some comedic stuff, you got some violent ones. But I don't know. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was kind of like somewhere in the middle for me. But I think as far as like Christmas horror movies go, it's probably one of the better ones because there's not a lot of good ones out there. So I definitely recommend it. It's on Shudder, and it's only an hour and 20 minutes, so can't really beat that.
That was a karma one for me because I crapped on that so hard that then I had gotten it at a Redbox and I couldn't find it, and Redbox charged me like $35 for the freaking movie.
That's what you deserve.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Jocelyn Donahue's in it. Final Guy's favorite. So worth a watch for that alone.
It had some talent in it too. Constance Wu, who I think is like an Emmy Award nominated actress. Yeah, she's in it. Brie Grant's in it. I had a bunch of people in it, so worth a watch for sure.
They clearly made it for $1 too. I mean,
yeah, you could tell that there was no budget behind it. But I mean, it looked great. I mean, that was one of the things I noticed is like it looked like a professional film, even though there was no budget behind it. So I always appreciate that stuff. Jack, what you got?
Okay, this one's going to be interesting. I watched a Polish horror movie on Netflix called Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight. Has anybody ever even heard of this?
I've heard of it.
No, never heard of this.
Oh, I have heard of it. This was this came out recently.
So I heard about it because a horror podcast I was listening to, somebody said it was one of their favorite movies of the year. I was like, what? I've never even heard of this. So I look it up and I'm like, oh, it's Polish. So I watched it on Sunday morning. And I would be really curious to see what you guys think of this movie. I had fun watching it, but right off the bat,
great sales pitch.
Too many Polish people.
They lift they lift specific kills and other things from other horror movies. Like I considered it like an homage to other horror movies, but there are a couple that you're like, oh, that is right out of this movie. But there's a little bit of a sense of humor to it, and the kills are really, really gory. And I felt like if you were a younger person who doesn't have the history of watching all the 70s and 80s horror movies that we've seen, then it's kind of shorthand to be like, oh, okay, this kind of brings me up to speed on everything. Now I can go back and see what they were referencing. There are mutants in it. There are.
Oh,
I like that stills Jason's flashing up.
My buddy Dave is in this. What the
hell? I enjoyed watching it. It's like I thought it was a fun horror movie that's derivative of a lot of other things, but of a good watch. And there's a couple of like surprising things that happen, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I said, this came out of nowhere.
Wonder what this came from.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So the kills are really good, and I was entertained the whole time. But like I said, I wasn't watching anything really original, but I was entertained by it.
Is it on Shudder or Prime or
it's on Netflix?
Oh, Netflix. Oh, I never look at Netflix anymore.
I don't either.
If somebody hadn't mentioned this, literally, I grabbed a pad and wrote it down. I was like, "What is this movie?"
I only watch stuff on Netflix recommended to me by someone else. I never browse at all. It's terrible.
Well, that's good. I mean, I love the lore, that Polish mermaid musical.
Oh, that movie is awesome.
That has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah,
is it my turn?
Watch it.
Yes, it's your turn. Sexual chocolate.
That's actually fitting that you said that, because I watched another movie on Shudder this week called Porno. I did not know what to make of this because it very clearly looks like a horror comedy when you're just kind of browsing through Shudder, and those can be very hit or miss. And I was reading some of the reviews people were giving it, and a lot of people were complaining about the horror. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is just a comedy. For the first half an hour, this isn't horror at all. But it slowly ramped. And first of all, I thought the comedy was funny. I enjoyed this movie. Just I got some good laughs out of it. And then as it slowly transitions to, like, I don't know, 70% comedy, 30% horror at the end, I thought it was effective. I mean, there's no money in this movie, clearly, but I thought it was funny. There's a lot of gore at certain moments, and it has the scene of the fucking year in this
Sure
movie.
does.
Oh my God. As soon as it started, I was like, no, they're not going to show this. They're not going to they're showing this. And they're showing this a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but you will know it when you see it because you've never seen anything like it before.
I'm in.
If
You
you're
sold
Batter
me.
Bobcat in the chat, if you want to see more Oz, you're gonna like this movie.
I don't get that reference, but okay.
That's right. He'll get it. He knows.
So basically, some people who work in a movie theater find a hidden room after their boss leaves, and there is a film reel in it that looks very strange. And they put it on, they watch it, and they summon a succubus who is just this voluptuous naked woman walking around screwing things up for everybody, and they're basically in a fight for their lives to survive in this theater all night.
This sounds like a perfect movie for me.
They're up in the projection booth, they're doing all kinds of stuff in this. I was thinking of you while we were watching it, so I think you'll really dig this one. I had low expectations going in just because I didn't know anything about it, and I had a blast. I actually think this might make my list too.
We did a Monster Man about this when it came out in the theaters because this was right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yep.
And this was a thing to raise money to help, like with the Alamo theaters. So we were encouraging people to watch it to help raise money for the theater to support them.
Yeah, we were there in the beginning, man.
We were there, and we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was really happy with this. So
it's a Fangoria movie just before the wheels completely fell off on Fangoria. Like it was like 3 weeks later, everything went tits up.
I'm watching it tomorrow morning.
I think I saw some. Oh, Castle Freak was Fangoria too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw that at the beginning. So I wonder if since they're sold, if things are starting to come back out again.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. So porno.
Watching it tomorrow morning. First thing
every day.
Careful when you Google it. When I was trying to look the movie up, I just typed in porno like an idiot. I'm like, oh, that's not what I was looking for.
Yeah. Or maybe it is.
How did you not think that would go wrong for
I'm
you?
stupid. Like as I hit enter, I was like, that was dumb.
That was a dumb thing to do. Clear history.
It's my turn. So I watched this time. It's a movie, just straight movie. Have you guys remember we watched The Exorcist? The William Peter, not the William Peter Blatty. No, what's his face? The director, Friedkin. So he talked about how Stacy Keach was the originally cast. I turn on Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. He has Stacy Keach on, and he brings it up how he didn't get, he had it and then he didn't have it. But William Peter Blatty put him in a movie that Blatty wrote and directed called The Ninth Configuration. And Stacy Keach is the star, and Blatty calls it the direct sequel to The Exorcist. So I was like, all right, well, I got to watch this. I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
It came out in 1980. It is set in a castle in the Pacific Northwest where they're taking all these ex-soldiers who are either actually crazy with PTSD or pretending to be crazy, and one astronaut who is played by Scott Wilson from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
This cast, you have Stacy Keach, Scott Wilson, Jason Miller.
Look how young Scott Wilson.
Ed Flanders. Joe Spinell is in this movie because he was good friends with Blatty and asked if he could be in it. And they rushed him in so fast to just be in it that they called him Spinell in the movie, and all his lines were ad-libbed. So they didn't even have anything written for him.
Nice.
And it's just basically like, pretend you're crazy. Robert Loggia is in this. Tom Atkins is in this.
Get out of here.
Robert
Loggia.
How have I not heard of this?
Me either. So
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I would say Stacy Keach is the new shrink sent to like work with these guys who are all crazy. I would say watch this with the headphones on, because in the first half hour, the guys are always saying stuff. And like if you watch it without the headphones, you don't hear it. There was some like talk about a movie that where you're thinking maybe you're going fucking nuts now because you're starting to like agree with them and laugh at them. But it's a comedy. So there is no horror in this whatsoever. And he meant it that way. So whereas The Exorcist is about bad, this is about the mystery of good. And I know this movie is 40 years old, but a lot of people haven't seen it, so I don't want to give away what the twist is. But Stacy Keach is this very low energy, stoic guy who's just basically letting the inmates do whatever they want for a reason, or at least a reasoning in his head. There's a lot of weird shit going on in this movie. And then the last half hour, it gets dark and sad. So it's for the man who wrote The Exorcist to say this is the sequel, it's just beyond bizarre. And I think he said Legion would be the third part of it. But dude, if you like The Exorcist, watch. I think it's the only time ever a horror movie, their sequel is a comedy.
That's really weird. It just blows my mind. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I might have been passing, but really I was like, I gotta watch this now. This is too much. It's a synchronicity, as they say in Hellier.
Yeah, this looks amazing, actually. I really want to watch it now. Tom Atkins? I don't know if you said that.
Young Tom Atkins playing a soldier.
Dude, I want this. Where'd you find it? Where'd you watch it on?
Amazon Prime. It's part of the Prime package. You don't have to pay
it. Man, I'm watching this shit. I got my my watch list for tomorrow already set.
Oh, nice.
All your recs.
Yeah, that's it's 80, but it's all 70s. It feels so 70s.
Yeah, it's probably shot in the 70s.
Yeah, I liked it.
Cool, man. All right. Moving right along, I watched a little movie called Lost Highway. Written
Arquette, baby.
Yeah. Written
Robert Blake's in it, isn't he?
There's a lot of people in this.
Yeah, there he is.
Yep. And who we just mentioned, Robert Loggia, also in it. Yeah, this movie is weird.
Yeah.
It's a David Lynch film, and I've had like, I don't know, I have like a love-hate relationship with David Lynch movies. Like I feel like I don't get them sometimes.
Yeah, I'm too stupid to like this stuff.
Yeah, like I like them, and I like that like you could tell you're watching a David Lynch movie when you're watching it, because he has like this very specific style of filmmaking, and it's good. Like technically, it's good. Like it's artsy, but not like over the top artsy. It's very there's a lot of sex in his movies, clearly. Violence, like it's very. They're cool.
There could be a case made for over the top.
For art, like art wise, or just like
like watch Twin Peaks.
Yeah, so I was gonna get to that as well, because like Twin Peaks, I've tried to watch the pilot like 5 or 6 times, and I just can't get through the pilot episode. I just can't do it. I don't know why. I stop about 60% of the way in, and I can't do it. I'm gonna force myself to do it one day, and I'm gonna watch that entire series because everybody raves about it. But yeah, like like it's so weird because I want to enjoy David Lynch movies because I generally like that stuff. I like the weirdness. Like Blue Velvet. Have you guys seen that movie?
A long time ago.
I have my little tank here that I suck in every now and then.
Mommy, don't you look at me.
Like I enjoy that movie. I love how crazy that is. Yeah, Chad Lutsky's like we actually had this conversation earlier. But yeah, like he's a huge Lynch fan. And it's like it's not bad. Like I recognize that they're not bad movies. I don't understand them fully, I guess.
He doesn't either. I buy him to fucking rationally explain 3/4 of what he puts out there.
But Lost Highway is an interesting movie. It's almost like 2 movies in one that are kind of connected, and like the connection between them is like the twist. The first section stars Bill Pullman, who's like he's like a jazz artist, and he like he thinks his wife is cheating on him, and then there's like this whole like weird stuff that's happening to him, and it's not really explained at all. And then there's a second one that has to do with the mob and a kid who kind of is cheating on the mob boss's girlfriend. And Patricia Arquette is like the thread between the two stories. She plays the main character in both stories. And yeah, the acting's great. Like
What's Robert Blake supposed to be in this movie?
Crazy.
He plays like this. Yeah, he's in both segments. He plays like this this like random character who just appears and like just spouts nonsense that doesn't make sense to me, but it's very creepy, and I like it. Again, like I like it, but I just don't understand it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like he's just in it. But I don't know. They're fun movies to watch, I guess. It's just I don't know. You gotta be in the mood for it. But Robert Loggia's character in the second, he plays with the mob boss. He's fucking fantastic as the mob boss.
He never mailed one in.
Robert Loggia. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, I guess he's a demon. Norm's right. But yeah, I don't know. Lynch is one of those things. He's like you either understand him or you don't.
Let me drop another tab and write some more scenes. These fucks will never figure this out.
And like I said, I usually like that stuff too, but I just for this, it's just I don't know. Maybe it's like the noir aspect of it, and it's not like over the top horror. I don't know.
I love the noir aspect of it. It's just
I know.
I think
I want to like it.
I think he enjoys Dutch ovening himself.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to go out there.
But anyway,
people do like that. I think he does.
That's there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little Dutch oven here and there.
Gonna eat a lot of Burger King. I'm gonna have a good night tonight.
Taco Bell, Dutch oven. Nothing beats it.
Well,
right,
you can cross David Lynch off potential guests.
Yeah. All right. That's my assessment of Lost Highway and David Lynch.
There we go.
Real quick, because we don't need to spend a lot of time on this movie, but The Lost Boys is on Shudder.
I watched that too last week.
Popped it on. I hadn't watched Lost Boys in a while, so it was really fun to watch. And it is remains one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I love it. I gotta tell you though, every time I watch this movie, I love it so much. But it's so funny the difference of attention I pay to this movie. The Corey Haim Frog Brothers part, I'm like all in on. Then when it's like the Kiefer Sutherland and the guy from Jason Patrick, I'm like, okay, come on, get back to the Frog Brothers. Let's go here.
More frog.
But it was great. Watching it on a big screen and everything. There's so many iconic moments. I mean, one thing you kind of forget when you haven't watched it in a while is how quickly you get to the saxophone guy.
Yep.
Oil up, baby.
But it's great because I had listened to I think it's Eli Roth's podcast had an episode where they talked to Schumacher before he passed away, and he talked all about the Lost Boys. So I was totally jonesing to watch the Lost Boys, and then I turned on Shudder, and there it is. I was like, oh, this is synchronicity.
Hey, I named my daughter Star because of that movie, and I've had her hanging out with the Lost Boys when she was little, and they were fucking wasted, and it was amazing. So I kind of have
Sutherland is such a great bad guy.
This guy makes the entire movie. Oiled up sax man.
Let's talk about those hips. He is rolling. He's Shakira.
I want to go to that party so bad. And actually, this is the first time I've seen Lost Boys since I watched Us. So they shoot on the boardwalk.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, oh wow. So listen, if you have Shudder, go back and revisit the Lost Boys. If you haven't seen the Lost Boys yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I watched this movie when I was younger, and like I liked it, but I wasn't like a huge fan of it. And I think last week when I watched it was like the first time in probably like 20 years since I've watched it, and I fucking loved it. Like every second of it, it was so good. Like I'm kind of mad at myself I didn't like buy into it when I first saw it. So
Didn't hit you. You needed to age.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was a little butthurt over what was the Netflix movie in the Bronx?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Vampire
Oh,
Hunter in
yeah.
the Bronx. They lifted so much from the Lost Boys. It was hard for me to get over that.
Glad I missed that one.
Well, didn't they referenced it like 10
Yeah,
times?
but just saying, oh, this is like the Lost Boys as you continue to copy it, like doesn't make it okay.
Jeez.
Rough.
I got nothing else. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. All right. Dude, this is the perfect segue because The Lost Boys, I read Until Summer Comes Around by Glenn Rolfe,
Oh, nice.
which in the beginning, I think his dedication talks about to all the Lost Boys out there. It's set in the 80s in a beach town, except this is East Coast, baby, Orchard Beach with the amusement park out there in Maine. And there's vampires that have come to town. And there's a kid who has fallen for a girl. Here's
Jesus.
yeah. So you would think like, oh shit, all right, EC vampire, Lost Boys. But no, because it's the family of vampires, it's a woman, her mom, her older son, and her teenage daughter. And the parents have kind of taught the kids like, just lay low. We're just gonna eat, like, eat a cat, drain a sheep, whatever you can do. Don't touch people, lay low, live long. Because these vampires, they can go out during the day. They can be killed. You can shoot them and they're going to drop right dead. So this girl meets this boy on the boardwalk and they form this nice little relationship. But her brother, since the father died of, I think, a heart attack, he has started eating people. And the more you do that, the more powerful you get and kind of like the more deranged you get. So it's kind of like, don't eat the forbidden fruit because it's not going to end well for you. So you're getting the side of this kid who's total puppy love with this girl who's very kind of like quirky and different, but forceful. And then you get this girl who's got this bizarre family dynamic. Her mother's constantly sick and just in a room. And she's terrified of her brother and she just wants a life. In the last town, when she fell in love with the boy, her brother killed the kid. So you're getting it a lot. Half this book is from the view of the vampire family, which I thought was great. This book was so good. This is like probably my favorite Glenn Rolfe book. So if you love The Lost Boys, you're really going to love this, and you're not going to get a retread of The Lost Boys because it takes a turn and it's really good. It's a rich story.
Are there any dudes with saxophones?
There's a guy playing a flute out of his asshole. It's not the same.
What's the name of it again?
Until Summer Comes Around.
Nice.
Damn good book.
Yeah,
Jack, I love this. I mean,
What?
for you, it's a vampire book. You're gonna love this.
Oh yeah, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, shake it out.
We had the best conversation with Glenn on Monster Men right when the pandemic started, and we were talking all about Old Orchard Beach.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite conversations we ever had.
Before it all turned into therapy. We were all in lockdown and losing our shit.
Oh, rough. All right. I guess I have one last movie to talk about real quick. So we watched Possessor a few weeks back. And Possessor. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was like, is that a different movie?
Possessor? Possessor. My bad. Anyway, I had an itch for another movie like that. So I went back and watched Existence. I don't know if you guys have seen this David Cronenberg classic.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't remember anything about it. I feel like I've seen it, but just looking at it, it does not ring a bell.
Yeah, so I had watched it, I guess, in like the early 2000s, and like you, I kind of just like forgot it even existed and forgot it was even a Cronenberg flick. But I went back and rented it on Prime just because I needed to scratch that Possessor itch. And yeah, this movie is fucking wacky. It stars Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's like this gamer designer, so she designs like these really intricate virtual reality games where like you can't even tell the difference between reality and fantasy. And so she's kind of she's kind of like experimenting with a new game, and Jude Law is kind of accompanying her on her journey because people are apparently after her for some unknown reasons, and she just meets people along the way. Like William Dafoe's in it, Ian Holm is in it. A lot of these like really good actors have like these really like good bit parts in it, and it's wild, man. It's Cronenberg's fingerprints are all over it. It's gory, it's weird, great effects, like practical effects. I really enjoyed watching it, and it had a really cool twist at the end too. So I'm glad I watched it. It's essentially like Videodrome meets like The Matrix. That's the best way I can describe this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed it, and I think it was only like a $2 or $3 rental, and it was worth going back and revisiting. I'll probably go back and revisit it again at some time in the future. But yeah, I don't know if you have that itch to scratch after watching Possessor. It's a good one to follow up. Good double feature right there.
You're describing it, and I'm not remembering it. I was looking at the images, and it was starting to trigger some memories, but then your description, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
All the good stuff is completely thrown out of your head because all that bad shit is just filling up the space.
Does anybody have anything else, or is that it? Can we get
Let's get going?
Let's do it, brother.
Run it.
Let me find out.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Sexual chocolate on that button.
Oh yeah.
I'm always paying attention.
So
To what we don't know.
Castle Freak remake 2020. Manwich. Hit us with some synopsis.
This hot chick gets in a car accident with her druggy boyfriend, and she becomes blind. Then she inherits a castle in Albania, which happens to have a castle freak inside of it. That is your movie.
There she blows.
I wonder how many people during that pause were like, "Is something wrong with the file?"
Yeah, I thought Jack froze for a second.
You know what it is? It's you friggin' millennials who don't have any patience for anything.
That's right.
You got to
That is
sit
true.
back.
Well, yeah, that
Take it in.
we're just used to like bad internet service where things are like choppy. So
Actually, we don't have Robot Hunter yet. That's amazing.
yeah, that is amazing.
Intergalactic planetary.
I have found out that when I'm up here, everyone's having problems. So it's not just here in the house. I don't know what's going on.
It's weird.
Could be our router is 11 years old.
Can we talk about your
Can
Snuggie for a second? Why is it only on one arm? What's going on with that?
Because I don't feel like getting the legs in. It's a whole process. I'm cold. At least I have one warm arm and a bit of my back.
Before, when you like put your hand up and I just saw like the Snuggie hand, and yeah, I thought like there was somebody else up there with you for a second because like it didn't match the other side of your body, and I was like freaked out.
Yeah, I wish it was a Snuggie. This is a full-on onesie that you zip up in, and I don't have the energy.
You should wear that. I would like to see that in an episode.
Yeah.
Didn't I wear the koala one day?
Yeah,
You-
wearing something.
Oh, maybe that was on Chad's show. All right, I'll wear this next time. 'Cause
You
it-
wear so much stupid stuff that it all blends together.
Yeah, I
Right,
What do you
man.
call that fetish where they have like all the people like go to like a hotel and they're like furries?
Furries? Yeah.
It's really not my thing, but whatever. I
mean,
like
you kinda-
nudies.
I like how you had to pretend you didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, me with furries?
Yeah.
You know where I learned what furries were? It's from an episode of CSI.
Oh, Jesus.
Probably the best episode of CSI ever then.
We've been around furries. I guess you didn't take much note.
Anyway, Castle Freak is a remake of Castle Freak, by the
Yeah.
way.
It is. All right. So I said I would do some predictions.
Predictions. Here you
Yeah.
go. I can't wait.
So my predictions are Jason hated it. Hunter hated it. Jack thought it was meh. Those are my predictions.
all right.
Let's see if it holds up. Jack, start us off.
you got me. I thought it was meh. I thought it was. It lacked any actor or performance that was compelling or interesting whatsoever.
Damn.
Even the girls.
Even
I'm
the
surprised.
girls. So like that, like I did not care about anybody in the movie, and I was not engaged by them whatsoever. Having said that, it looked pretty cool. It moved along, maybe a little slow in a couple of parts. Then they get really aggressive at the end, and we can talk about this later. And I got a real kick out of what they were trying to do. So that elevated the enjoyment level of the whole thing. And I felt like here's another movie like Underwater that was like, let's just throw the friggin' Lovecraft curveball at this sucker high and inside and see if we can move him off the plate.
Literally makes everything better.
So like I thought it was an okay remake. There was enough entertaining stuff to go along, but it like didn't blow me away or anything like that, but I didn't hate it either.
Nailed that one.
One for one, baby. Jason, my bad.
Somebody with a J.
Okay. This was a weird movie. I have to say I kind of liked it.
Oh, damn.
But I have to admit as well that a lot of it is because I was getting so much 90s nostalgia from this movie. And I grew up watching like, bad 90s horror movies and like mediocre thrillers that all had the same kind of sound score and the same sound effects, which by the way, played through this whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like that weird, like stuff in the background. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, I haven't heard that in 30 years.
Am I watching like The Unnameable? Like you going through all these movies that you watched back then.
Yeah. So they were definitely going for that 90s aesthetic a lot of times too. And as soon as it started, at the first shots, it was like, this looks like a freaking Charles Band movie. And it's because he produced it. So they just, if that's what they were going for, which it was so spot on, I have to assume that's what they were trying for. I enjoyed that. People are always going back to the 80s. They never go back to a 90s aesthetic. So I really enjoyed that part of it, for better or worse. It was just very nostalgic for me. It was slow. I hated almost every character in the movie, and they made stupid decisions. But man, that Lovecraft shit it really elevated it for me towards the end. And there were 3 insane fucking scenes in this that I was just like, who, how, we're okay with this? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So it's not an expertly made film by any stretch. And I don't know how many people I would recommend this to. Just because the reasons I liked it are very weird and very me, but I kind of liked it.
All right, 1 for 1.
All right, guess what? I feel like Jason.
That blows my mind.
Because I'm sitting there going, this is a total 90s aesthetic. I haven't seen a movie where every woman's breasts get shown in a long time.
Yeah, which is very 90s.
Yeah, so I'm like going, wow, this is kind of a movie written, produced by women, completely exploiting women for no reason whatsoever. I was like, oh, this is fascinating. And they look good. I digged all the synth shit going on back there. And you're right. I'm watching this going, oh, yeah. Because I saw in the beginning, oh, Charles Band. Yeah, this looks straight up like a band. I'm just waiting for a demonic toy to pop out of somebody's asshole.
Is there a Charles Band filter in the editing program? Because goddamn, it just looks like.
Yeah. Everybody in this movie is a piece of garbage. I'm even going to go with the blind girl. They all suck. I don't care about any of them.
Yeah, they were terrible.
But there was enough nostalgia, boobs, gore, and then the very last scene made me laugh so hard I blew a snot rocket out that hit my dresser. So
it's beautiful.
Did you record it and upload it to TikTok?
I didn't. I should have.
Yeah.
Also, don't touch things in Hunter's house.
Missed opportunity.
I Lysoled, but it hit me so hard. Like I was like, if I didn't like this whole movie up until now, I'm gonna like it for that like 2-second ending.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that's enough.
That was it. it just kept like doing something to reinvest you in the movie. You'd be like,
Yeah.
this is getting kind of stupid. It's like, oh God, look at that scene. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's back to I'm slow. I hate this person. I hate the boyfriend was the worst.
Well, I'll talk about him. The original is better in every respect. The original is better.
God, you're missing Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs so bad.
The way they changed the story took the whole heart and guts out of this movie completely, and we can talk about that. But I actually didn't mind it. It's kind of a pointless remake, but for an old guy, I enjoyed feeling like I was young again.
Well, I wonder if it's pointless or if they're looking to redo the Stuart Gordon catalog into a new trilogy or something like that.
Don't
I hope not.
that.
Please don't do that.
I mean, we'll get into that when we talk spoilers for sure.
Yeah.
But I am like right there with you guys. Like I recognize that this movie has some flaws, but that second half of the movie really was so much fun to watch that I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's got over the top gore. It definitely is like a Stuart Gordon love letter. Insane sex scenes. Like I can't remember the last time I saw a guy's pear sack in a movie.
I know. Good.
I was like,
Lord.
what the hell
Like,
am I watching
What
right
is this
now?
angle?
Like
What the hell?
like he was
Air sack.
like it was all out there for you to see, which I
Yeah.
appreciate that. You never see that shit anymore in movies. You don't see
Well,
pear
since they were
sacks.
showing so much boob and ass on the girls, I guess
It was like,
one
we have-
sack equals all that.
I guess one scrotum equals like 10 titties. I don't know.
There's somebody who does quantify this shit in like the ratings board.
Like it was wild, but I
One scrotum equals 10 titties. That should be on the back of the box.
Next final guy's shirt.
but I don't know. I appreciated it because it's just it was fun. Yeah, I mean you're gonna just laugh this whole time, aren't you?
I can't help it.
But no, like I don't know. The acting wasn't great. I will say the boyfriend, as annoying and as douchey as he was, like that was the point. And I thought the actor did a really good job portraying that. He was actually a really good actor. He was in Vast Night. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
Yeah.
But he played like the main character in that, and completely different character. Also, yeah, well acted.
Wow.
He's a really good actor. Like I was actually, when I saw him, I'm like, I recognize him from Vast Night, and it's just so completely different. And I actually think he kind of made the movie as far as like the actors were concerned, because the rest of them were kind of just like,
they're
like,
friends.
horrible to watch.
Useless characters.
Just all terrible actors and actresses, and just like the character, they weren't written very well either. There was like no depth to them whatsoever.
Charles
But
there's a formula, man.
But yeah, this was one of those like weird movies where it's like the first half of the movie, I enjoyed the beginning, and then once they get to the castle, there's like a lull when things are kind of like not really happening, and then about halfway into the movie, it takes a turn when all the friends get there, and it gets insane. And like Hunter said, the last frame of the movie, I was like, I think like the top of my head just exploded. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I wanted to rewind it and pause it, but I was like, no, actually, I don't think I do.
No, I did do that, and it was amazing. Jesus. No, it's so cool. I don't know. Like, this is one of those movies. Like, I don't know if everyone's gonna like it, but I would recommend it. I would recommend it to people to watch it because it's just a fun movie. And as long as if you're going into it like not expecting much from it, I think you're gonna have a good time.
I think if you're younger and you like to throw hashtags out, you're not gonna like this movie. I'm just saying.
Maybe not.
I think this will offend some people, which for that point, I like it.
It's definitely in the right place. Shudder is a perfect place for this, because even if this was on Netflix or something else, it's going to be hit or miss as to who likes it. Shudder is the perfect place. Everybody who has Shudder should watch this movie.
Yeah, it's totally worth a watch. So
It's a shame if they just made the characters halfway likable or watchable. I feel like it would have elevated this movie so much more because the off the rail shit they do in the third act really did bring it up from like just watching. It's like, oh my god, they're talking again. I don't care. These people are terrible. Jeez, and if they had just changed that up a little bit, I feel like this would be talked about a lot more.
Yeah,
And
Tim, I guess you're right. That guy did act like such a douche, but I guess he was so good because the whole time I'm going, why would two good-looking girls want anything to do with this piece of garbage?
But there was nobody to counterbalance that. There was nobody else. Like, I can handle a character who's not likable, but there was nobody in the movie to latch onto.
The professor with your counterbalance right there.
God, the professor.
The professor. Oh,
he looked like a Culkin who just didn't come out right.
That made no sense to me.
I mean,
a Culkin that didn't come out right.
I mean, he was essential. I mean, we know why he was in there. It was because he's in that character's in every H.P. Lovecraft movie ever.
He goes to the Miskatonic University.
Exactly. You knew when you saw that sweatshirt that you were what we're in for.
He did a hard name drop with that one.
Yeah. Well, that was his job.
I didn't understand why he hung out with everyone else in the group though. Like,
why would they hang out with him?
Yeah, I'm like, you're not friends at all. Like they would beat the shit out of that dude or something.
But that's like a typical horror movie trope. Like all the friends are always like that. That's why like in Cabin in the Woods they make fun of that trope with the stoner kid hanging out with all the popular kids. He's like, why do I even hang out with you? Because like that's in a lot of horror movies. Like those characters that would never be friends. They're all hanging out together.
Well, here these 5 of them are drug addicts and alcoholics and losers. You got the homoerotic American Indian dude and the African American guy, and then you've got the love triangle going on, and then you've got. First of all, I would never call any of my friends the professor.
No,
ever.
Skipper, maybe.
Yeah, Doc, not the professor. That was so dumb.
Dumbest nickname.
There's no reason for him to hang out with them, and there's no reason for them. It's just that was the hardest like force in a friend I've ever seen in a movie.
Somebody had to explain the story though, so here comes the professor.
Right. So yeah, they needed all that info dump to come through someone, and that's my major complaint about the movie is just the writing. I think, especially in that second act, was really messy. But like I said, throw in some Lovecraft and some wild shit, and you take a movie out of subpar mediocrity and raise it into something that was pretty fun and watchable. So
yeah. I mean, just to harp on the character stuff one more time, they were so bad. Like, I'm watching the blonde woman. I can't remember her character's name. Just dealing with him. I'm like, why are you with him? I don't understand this. Now you're blind and you're still with him. Oh, now you're going to have a bunch of money and you're still like,
I'm
just thinking like story wise, why couldn't they just been brother or sister so that she has to deal with this guy? Cause like the inheritance is going to be, like I just could not reconcile why the hell she's dealing with this dude.
And it took the weight out of the movie because in the original, it's Jeffrey Combs as a drunk blinding his daughter and the shit he has to deal with to try to keep that family together and the resentment Barbara Crampton has. That's what makes that movie. There's a broken heart at its core where this is just assholes.
Yeah, there's like an emotional connection to the characters in the first movie where this is just like everybody. It just didn't mesh. Like the characters just didn't mesh with each other.
No. But I kept watching this going, Jack's liking these girls.
Jack didn't hurt.
Did anybody see a post-credit scene? Steve Barnard saying that.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude,
I turned that movie off so fast when it was over.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my God.
You two are idiots.
Dude, you guys are nuts.
We're idiots. Whatever. We can just go back and watch it.
I mean, yeah.
No, you're an idiot for not watching
it. Ring the bell. We can talk about everything.
We're going to talk about it.
Hunter Hayes an idiot.
Jason didn't see it either.
At least he has his onesie on. He doesn't look like a half tiger, half man.
It was like 30 seconds into the credits. It happens.
Well, maybe I did see it then. I don't know.
I didn't.
The Reanimator stuff?
Yeah.
No, didn't see that.
What?
Damn,
So
I gotta go back.
I heard there's a hint of a Reanimator remake.
Yeah, Herbert West
so
post-credit scene.
You've got your big splash ending scene.
Literally.
Credits start. They show Barbara Crampton, which proves to Steve Barnard that Barbara Crampton was a producer. And then, literally, like 30 seconds later, the professor like walks into an office at, I guess, Miskatonic University, and like there's two suits sitting there with a reanimator bottle on the table, and it just says something like West, and like that's the end of the movie.
So
So that's what I'm talking about when I said they might be setting up a
I hope not, because there were no deft hands at this movie that could handle Reanimator.
Well, if you get into this and From Beyond, they better have a better cast and better everything.
They won't.
Yeah, like if any of those movies could be remade, it's Castle Freak. I like Castle Freak, but it's not on Reanimator From Beyond's level. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So I can handle a Castle Freak remade. If you're gonna touch Reanimator, you better bring your freaking A game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like another Reanimator in the Reanimator like universe, but I don't know if I want like a direct like remake, because the movie's so classic. Like I feel like that'd be like remaking Jaws or something almost. Like I don't think you would do that.
Reanimator may be something that if they wanted to make a mini series out of it, so it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like The Shining.
Good stuff. Highly recommend.
Dr. Herbert West, Steven Weber.
All right. So I said there were 3 scenes, but I actually remembered a 4th scene that was insane. I feel like we need to go over these.
Yeah.
The first is when she's using the Cat of Nine Tails as a dildo. I'm like, what?
That looked good.
What's happening here? Like, Jesus.
And she was your mom. She looked awful young. This looks like, porno movie, like mom stuff. Like, oh,
she
mom.
looked very Eastern European.
She kind of reminded me of the hooker in the first one.
Yeah,
it helps you get an idea of the versatility of everyday objects.
You're right. I usually try to keep certain things separate.
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm just screwing my life up. I should
Seek
be more of a
pleasure. Can
reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Was anyone like shocked by the size of the vagine on the Castle Freak?
What the
Everything
hell?
about the naked Castle Freak, because we got to talk about the sex scene with the boyfriend and the Castle Freak.
That's like,
that's like one of the best things I've ever seen.
That's where the vagine came out. Now, the first Castle Freak had twig and berries. This one has a gaping vagine that things go in and come out of.
Yeah. And like her stomach. Because when she first started getting naked, I'm like, that's not where those things go. What's happening? That was crazy.
And then that pleasure from her, though.
That sex scene. Oh my God. I couldn't believe they were going there. That was amazing.
I thought
it was awesome.
I know I'm not talking out of school here. When I guarantee you, there were lots of guys who were just like hands in the pants in the beginning of that sex scene, and then wondering if they should keep going when there was the old switcheroo. I'm almost done.
Pause.
That's the Castle Freak equivalent of the close up of the guy's face. That's hilarious.
That was the greatest sex scene since Wolf Cop.
Oh man,
that was the moment that like you just went, oh, okay, there's definitely value to watching this movie.
Yeah.
Just when
more of that.
Just when she mounts him and she's like licking like her lips and stuff, and it's like so wet and like, oh God, it's so repulsive, but it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
That scene was when I think my wife came home right after that. She's like, what are you watching? I was like, Jesus Christ.
This movie's too moist for you. Please go back in the other room.
It's so moist.
It's way too moist.
All right, what's another one, Jason?
The giant tentacle dick with claw rape scene on the altar. I was like, oh wow, okay. This is good too. Good stuff.
That happened.
Hurt.
Yeah. That one, and because it kept going, like the scene kept going on. I'm like, good Lord.
And didn't it have 2 heads? Weren't there like 2 pods at the end of that?
I feel like it broke into 2 or 4.
Yeah, like a lobster claw thing.
Yeah,
that was and when it came out of the hole, like that was like
Which part of the hole? What?
Like no, when it came out of the like the thing with the drippy face, and like there was like a hole that opened on his thing, like a flesh hole.
Yes,
And
yes.
Yeah,
it
it was
came-
like his dick came out of his vagine. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what's happening here
It
with
was
this anatomy.
A lot of smegma.
Oh my god, it was
I can't even imagine
was
the smells in
glorious,
that
though.
castle.
So
yeah, God, the smell would have to be so bad.
So she was impregnated by that. So that's why she had to use a handle of cat o' nine tails, because no other man could satisfy her.
Maybe you're onto something. Maybe there
Not
was
at
more
all.
thought in this movie than we
Exactly.
consider. And then the last one was obviously that last shot with
Oh,
God damn it.
So
Was that-
glorious.
was that her giving birth to which creature was it? Which not Cthulhu, but
Who knows?
That's the professor.
yeah, what the hell was the name? Damn it. They said the name like 50 goddamn
Or
times.
Weevil or something like that.
It plops out like a big old turd with an eyeball in it.
So was that what that was? Was that the god coming out of her?
Yeah,
Like she's giving
I
birth to the
guess,
god?
yeah.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But
Yeah,
so that happens, and then you're kind of thinking, is this the end of the world or whatever? But then in the post-credit scene, this dude's back at the university. So
I'm gonna have to watch the post-credit scene after this.
it's like 30 seconds long.
It's all right.
Yogg-Sothoth, says Steve Barnard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
See, Steve
does my
Barnard watched this, and his take on Twitter was, he said solid meh. And after I watched it, I was like, yep, I agree with that. Like it's got enough to it that it interested me, and enough to it that I didn't like love it.
Yeah, it was weird. It like overall I liked it, but I realized how shitty it is too.
Yeah, it's just such an inconsistent movie, but it has so many cool things that we love in it that it's hard to hate it.
Yeah,
We're not like it at all.
Yeah, like I'm not dying to go back and rewatch it, but those scenes made me like the movie.
Yeah.
So it was, and we've said this a million times. If you're going to remake a movie, not that Castle Freak's an all-time classic, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, I feel like you need to go in a different direction. If you're just redoing the exact same story, I'll just go watch the original.
Right.
I don't need to. So I thought that kind of worked.
You're exactly right. They went in enough of a different direction so that by the end of it, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, luckily the special effects team came up with enough.
Apparently
the writing was not good enough.
Yeah, apparently one of the special effects guys was on that Face Off show. Like he was one of the winners of one of the seasons.
Oh,
Well,
that's
good
cool.
job.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
Good job with Yogg-Sothoth. We should
I usually
all
don't
get
like
one under the tree.
I usually don't like 3D movies, but I kind of would have liked to seen this movie in 3D.
Oh God.
Especially when the thing's coming out at the end there.
That
Jesus.
is incredible.
It took me a little bit too, and I was like, "Oh, this is a different race." Like, because at first I was just like, "What the hell is wrong with the Castle Freak?" Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, why is your vagine in your stomach? Like, what is? Like, just
Why is
everything
it
was weird.
so long.
Yeah.
How could this guy not know that there was a different? Jeez. Well, he was drunk too, so I guess.
Yeah. He was in the moment. He was in the moment.
Yeah. The moment you go from a petite blonde to a horrific, weird anatomy monster.
That I'm sure smells super bad. Like, that alone should have told you. But
Oh,
I would
God.
love to see like the bloopers from some of like the sex scene and things like that. Like,
Does the actor, when that's climbing on top of him, is the actor like having second thoughts? Like, I should not have agreed to this movie.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because, like I said, he's a good actor. Like, I don't know why he agreed. Like, why is this guy in this movie? Like, he should be doing good stuff.
and imagine
check.
like all the sound design that went into that. So like if you were just filming it, it would just be like two people on the beds that's going, "Ah, rah, rah, rah."
and the person in the suit is probably a dude. So to add to
Yeah.
the discomfort, you're like, thanks.
Oh, what a movie.
Look, we've seen far worse. It's not going to make a top 10 list or a top 20, but
I might make mine.
ooh,
Damn.
it was good for the day.
It was good. Yeah.
I'm surprised everybody kind of liked it. Like that.
Yeah, I am
really-
too. Actually,
I thought we were all
For
going to shit on it.
sure. I thought for sure you two were gonna hate it, and Jack was like gonna be right in the middle.
The nostalgia saved it.
Yeah,
The
nostalgia
shocking scenes
scenes.
saved it.
yeah, it really did.
And the nudity. I appreciate that. I think we need to get that back. We got to make America great again with nudity.
More
That's
pear,
how you make America great again.
more pear sacks in movies.
Pear sacks, as many pear sacks as you want. Bring it on.
Bring them
Well,
on.
particularly if the ratio is accurate. If it's 1 for 10, then throw as many sacks in there as you want.
Oh my god, that's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be too many. It's gonna be boob overload.
Yeah, your brain will explode or something.
Yeah, we need to get boners in. 2021 will be the year of the boner. Because I think everyone should get a little something, and maybe our wives will watch these things with us a little
There's
more.
Viagra in the COVID vaccine.
Oh,
It's by Pfizer, so you know.
That's true. They do know how to make boners.
Which he's going to take that vaccine first and end up looking like the Castle Freak to warn the rest of us.
Oh. Yeah, we got to watch these people who got it for the next 2 weeks and just check in on them.
Suddenly, there's tentacles coming out of places that.
My God, my clitoris is by my Adam's apple.
That's a good. I think that's a good note to end on. My
Sure is.
It's by my Adam's apple. All right. Yeah, you guys don't have anything else, right?
No.
Next week is Christmas.
Yes, next week we're going to do a Christmas episode. So I believe we all agreed on Fat Man, the new Mel Gibson, Walter Goggins flick.
Yeah.
Available for rental on most on-demand platforms. So watch that, and we'll have a in-depth discussion about that. And probably we'll just talk about the career of Mel Gibson and all the phenomenal movies that he's been in.
Oh boy.
Some great recordings he's made on answering machines.
We're pretty much going to make fun of Mel Gibson for probably 90 minutes, I would guess.
I got to gauge how much I'm going to drink. Like, it might end the show. Like, I could get us removed. So, watch myself.
But
extra credit if you watched one season of Jake and the Fat Man and join us in the chat. That's extra credit.
Extra
something under the tree for you.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.
Good night.
Deuces.
Happy Hanukkah.